Hi there, and welcome to this Friendly Friday. And again, Megan in conversation with herself, because funny enough, something that turned out to be an accident has turned out to be perhaps an accidental success. Often people have asked me, why don't I share more content? And my general approach is I love to share other content and have other entrepreneurs join me and help them too. So I think we'll keep Friendly Fridays as they currently are. We'll still bring in our guest speakers every week. And then every other week, I will then hop on and just talk generally. Following the similar kind of flow with the typical questions, sticking around a specific topic. And yeah, hopefully we can still inspire and learn, and just giving me an opportunity to share with you as I love to do. So running a bit late today, I generally go live at 11. Was testing a streaming software. Lesson learned, don't test your streaming software 15 minutes before you want to go live. Always be prepared and test your software in advance. And but yeah, niggles will still happen, but it's okay. We just have to show up. I guess the motto goes better late than never. So yeah, let's head straight into the questions. Again, I'll kick off today with my very, very first question, as I normally ask my guests, is how their business came to be, just to inspire those. And maybe you are watching for the first time and you may not know what my inspirational journey was to getting where I am today. So let me quickly share that with you. And as an entrepreneur now, going on to my fifth year, I was in corporate for just over 15 years and absolutely loved every minute of it. At times, I desperately wanted to get out, but I just couldn't due to financial commitments, I think it came down to, and having young children, it was even harder. So needless to say, somebody told me, well, it's time to get on, and they booted me out. And I was retrenched with a whole bunch of people within my company. They actually shut the entire division down, and 39 of us were retrenched. Anyway, needless to say, at the time I was running around, putting my CV together, thinking, shucks, what next? And my first gig came about as a website. Not that I build websites at all and have no intentions to, although I have done a few myself for my own businesses. And the client asked if I could help, and that was where it all started. And that's where it all started then 5 years ago. But from where it was and where it is now has also changed, because, you know, I service a different market. The needs have changed. My needs have changed. My interests have changed. And I also have grown to do something more in line with what I really want to do. You know, I think that's the number one thing about an entrepreneur is we've got to be doing what we love to do, right? We obviously need to be servicing the market and giving them what they need, but we need to be happy doing what we do too. And so that's where the Marketing Lifeline was born, just in February last year, 2021, where my absolute love was sharing, training, giving knowledge and tools to others to help them, because I kept seeing entrepreneurs struggling through the same things. So that was my basic intro to the Marketing Lifeline, and excuse the knocking in the background, but unfortunately there's nothing I can do about that. And so I continue to do what I love, servicing clients online and helping them through their marketing journey to take that frustration away. So funny enough, my topic today was not really set in stone, and my theme for the week though has been around Facebook, but interestingly enough, the topic I had a conversation with myself 2 weeks ago was about Facebook, because it was relevant at the time. So that's what I'm going to do when I do show up on these Fridays solo. I'm going to talk about a relevant topic that I heard in the week in conversation, perhaps something that tweaked my interest, or something I just wanted to share. So I attended an Explore Protect networking event this week, and one of the guests had mentioned the words death by PowerPoint. And it sparked interest because I haven't actually heard that word for quite a long time, although I've heard it many, many years ago. It sparked an interest thinking, do people still think that? So I thought, well, let's knock on and talk about PowerPoint today and the benefits and or disbenefits to some people, what it may be to you. So the first question is, let's talk PowerPoint. And is PowerPoint dead? Well, yes, there's a saying called death by PowerPoint, absolutely. But there's also PowerPoint with intention. So I don't believe PowerPoint is dead. In fact, I think PowerPoint is amazing. And I really enjoy PowerPoint. I think it's what you make of it that is going to spark interest or not. So first off is PowerPoint is not dead. Again, in my opinion, I always talk about my opinion. And why do I say that PowerPoint isn't dead? Well, I think for all online purposes, PowerPoint is probably one of the easiest tools to use to generate content on, to present in a nice, easy, friendly manner. And PowerPoint also has the ability for us to use different formats within PowerPoint, right? So we're not going to just rock up with a heavy stack of slides and say, hey, here's our presentation. But now with the ability of inserting videos, using animation to an extent of putting stories together, using creative slides that are personalized to your brand, you know, I honestly feel if you feel that PowerPoint is not alive, then perhaps maybe you haven't considered the power of PowerPoint. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion and everyone likes to use different tools. I personally have always loved PowerPoint, but yes, I've always been very strategic how I use my PowerPoint and how I present it. And to the point that some clients have asked me for my deck of slides because they really liked what I did. So again, I think PowerPoint is very alive as long as you're using it correctly, just like anything, right? So some things work being used correctly and some things don't. And again, the word optimization and how can we use it to our advantage. So definitely for me, the key thing with PowerPoint is if you can, obviously in your own capacity or whatever it may be, definitely need to create your own kind of look and feel, using a generic template. I probably would say is maybe a no-go, but again, if it fits with your theme and it looks presentable, go for it. Using different forms of content on your PowerPoint. Don't just make it text heavy, but using maybe some nice infographics, maybe using some nice videos, and just incorporating different types of content. Quite what works quite nicely is when I go to some presentations, speakers will pop up a slide with a word or an image, and then they will minimize the slide and then talk through it, and then pop up the slide and then talk through it and then pop it back down. And another reason why I think I'm a bit of a PowerPoint junkie is because I'm very visual, right? I'm total left and a right-brained person, and I like to see things visually. So if you're just talking to me verbally, which is great, I'm engaged and I am listening. But for me personally, I absorb and are more interested and inclined to get into your conversation if you have a visual to draw my attention in. So I think personally that's one of my biggest loves about PowerPoint, is it gives me the ability while I'm talking through something with my audience, I have a graphic or something to support it, right? Either you're verbal and you want to listen to me and look at me, that's great. But if you're a visual person, then at least I'm also offering you the benefit of the doubt and giving you that. So let's go straight into the tips for today. in how to bring your PowerPoint or your death by PowerPoint presentations to life, to re-energize them, because they seriously have a great purpose. I mean, yes, we still can use other elements like video to present, and we could use other things like PDFs. I've seen people present on PDFs. I've seen people present straight off their website. You know, I think that's fantastic. You know, have a variety of presentation options. But when it comes to the point that you need a PowerPoint presentation, how can you make it awesome that people are engaged by it? So my 3 top tips, it's going to be quite hard to give 3, but I would definitely say number 1 is customize. Absolutely customize your slides, you know, fit it in with your brand, have your logo on it, really make it your own. Okay, I think it's kind of a weird feeling, as I said, kind of somebody presenting to you and you can just see it's one of those PowerPoint templates. But again, it may work, but just customize. Remember to add your logo, your colors, and all those things. So that's number 1, I think. The number 2 factor for me is definitely the content. Okay, the total less is more thing is so relevant when it comes to PowerPoint. Don't say too much. That's definitely my downfall, is I often want to say too much because I'm worried people again will miss out. But less is more. So if you can have a picture that depicts your point, fabulous. If you can have a word that depicts your point, fabulous. Okay, so it's just that little link. So you want to be able for the visuals to be able to look at the visual and listen to you to connect the two, or look at the word, listen and connect the two. What we don't want to be doing is putting everything we're saying on a slide. Okay, we want to just have key points that actually say we shouldn't have more than 3 words on a slide. Yes, I also have difficulty doing that. It's not that easy. But they say typically 3 words on a slide, okay? And then I would say a visual and or just a visual. So keep it down, less is more. And then number 3 is definitely make it fun, you know, have some sound, have movement, include, as I said, infographics, graphs, include videos, you know, have different types of things within your presentation, even if you have to pop out of your presentation to go onto another screen and back into your presentation. Give yourself that diversity, and that also gives the person that's watching maybe not too much confusion going in and out, but as I said, quite clear. If you show a point, close your slide, talk, come back, fantastic, okay? Fantastic. So just maybe be a little bit creative in how you present your content across. Okay, so my top 3 tips to make your death by PowerPoint slides work for you is definitely number 1, make them your own, customize them for your branding, customize them to your liking, make them unique and kind of more specific to color. And maybe consistently use the same type of slides across your different media as well. Number 2 definitely will come down to content. Less is more. Stick to visuals, keywords, and talk through the detail. And then number 3, definitely being creative and diversify on how you present your different topics and content, using different elements of content, and or, as I said, jumping between your conversation and your PowerPoint. So my last question then, in my opinion, because as you can hear, the knocking continues, but we persist. And in my opinion, will PowerPoint ever die? So I think, as with anything, there will always be a lifespan for PowerPoint. There'll always be a place for PowerPoint. And again, just like Word has a place, right? Yes, of course, video is becoming more and more clear. But again, for me, PowerPoint has a little bit more control of the video, you know, so rather have a video in your PowerPoint presentation, embedded in your PowerPoint presentation, that you have control over. Because again, you're not going to be doing a presentation and people are going to be watching your video, because like, what is the point of this exercise, right? And all we do in the video for is to create a dimension in our presentation. So essentially, that's what we want to do with PowerPoint, is to create a dimension for our people watching us and learning from us. So that's me for today on this amazing Friendly Friday. Apologies again about the sound in the background, but hopefully there were some key pointers there. And when you look at your PowerPoint presentation, again, you either go, fantastic, I've ticked all 3 boxes, and or perhaps you want to go back and look at it and see how you can bring it to life. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a comment or like and subscribe. We'll be back next week, Friday, same time, same place. Take care. Cheers.